folks, happy VEDA. I'm so glad to see you today. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the many bones that I have broken. Hey, Rachel from Later On checking in here, and I do wind up going into somewhat graphic details for this video. Nothing like crazy. There are no visuals of like blood or anything like that. I don't think I ever was like bleeding in any of these scenarios, but if you're a little bit squeamish, maybe skip this video and I won't hold it against you. So just wanted to say that. I think it's interesting. I've actually broken 6 bones in my lifetime, and for a really long time it was 5 bones, and then I broke like 1 more in the last couple of years. Apparently I am very clumsy and I am just a mess. I'm slightly better now. So the first time I broke a bone, I was in kindergarten, so I was like 6 years old. And I broke this arm. I actually broke it at the elbow. And this is, the first one is by far the best story of me breaking a bone. So I will, of course, tell it to you guys right here. I was pretending to be a gymnastics princess, because this is what you do when you're 6. And princesses wear high heels. So I had these plastic, like, high-heeled shoes that were in the dress-up box that I was wearing. The edge of my bed had like a little rail that was probably like 1.5 inches wide, and that was my balance beam. So I was practicing the balance beam on the edge of my bed wearing high-heeled shoes, and you can probably see where this is going. I missed, the heel missed a step, and so I leaned back on it and just kept going. I fell into a rocking chair that was in the middle of my room, and shouldn't have been because I hadn't cleaned my room in probably like a week or so, and some things never change. I had a cast like all the way up to here. It was hot pink. Everybody in my class signed it. And it was probably like 6 months to a year before I could do the monkey bars again, and that was the most upsetting part of it to me. So the next time I broke a bone, I was in the 5th grade. I had just started going to a new school, and there were 3 other girls in my class named Rachel. That year, they all broke their wrists. Like, going down the hall, I'm just like, oh, there's Rachel. She broke her wrist. There's Rachel. She broke her wrist. There's Rachel. She's next. Just like, not in a mean way, just in like a, this is too much of a coincidence for you to get away with not breaking anything. I was at a friend's house, and we were practicing trying to do backflips on her trampoline, and I landed weird. So I landed on my back, I bounced up, and I hit, bam, I don't know if you could see that, I hit my nose with my knee, and we weren't really sure that it was broken, so we didn't go to the emergency room, we didn't go to a doctor right away. But a week later, when it was still like a little bit crooked and weird, we're just like, okay, yeah, it's probably something that we should get looked at. I even had like a little tiny nose-sized cast on it, which was the funniest thing. The next year in 6th grade, I broke my middle finger on this hand. So, that one was really no big deal. I just was playing with a basketball. I wasn't playing basketball, I was playing with a basketball. I threw it up into the air and it landed weirdly on my one finger. Yeah, I knew almost immediately. I'm just like, yeah, that's probably broken. but also it's not broken very badly. So I was at a neighbor's house and I didn't want them to feel responsible because they weren't, because it was all my fault. And so I just kind of like kept smiling and chatting, and then I went home and I was just like, hey Mom, I think I kind of broke my finger. She's just like, okay, cool. That's fine. Bless my parents for putting up with all this. So in 7th grade, I broke my wrist again. I broke this wrist this time, and it was just the wrist. It wasn't the like elbow or anything like that. And that one this one I broke rock climbing. So I was actually bouldering. I did not have a mat underneath me, and I forget if it was like the ground is still pretty cushiony, so it's not. It probably shouldn't have broken, but it did anyway. And that one, like, it broke and you could tell immediately that it was broken. There was no question. It was just like yep, that's a very unnatural angle and that's broken and now we're going to the emergency room. The next year in 8th grade, like I said, there were 4 years straight where I was going to the emergency room every single year. And in 8th grade, I had a rather minor sprain of my wrist again, and this time it was because I had fallen while snowboarding, and I like fell back and caught myself on my wrist, and it was just like, yep, that's probably broken. That was another one where it just like, it didn't hurt a whole lot, but I also knew pretty much immediately that like, yep, that's broken. That's like a minor sprain and we need to go to the emergency room. Honestly, there is actually, so I don't even have this written down in my outline, but I'm remembering now that my sophomore year of high school, so when I was in 10th grade, I broke my finger again. I think it was my ring finger this time, but they like kind of taped these two fingers together. And I'm just like remembering like having the cast on, but honestly, I cannot for the life of me remember how I broke it. But I am like really clearly remembering having the cast on in my humanities class. Me breaking bones is just like such a minor thing that I can't even remember why or how I broke a thing. Yep, that's my life. When I was a junior in college, I went to visit my uncle in Colorado, and we went rock climbing. We went whitewater rafting. It was like kind of this like summer in between. I think it was summer between sophomore and junior year of college, and we just had a lot of fun. Or hanging out, and as we were hiking back to the car one day, I stubbed my toe really, really badly on a big boulder, and we were so close to the car. I remember it was just like, I like stubbed it really bad, and I was just like screaming, and I'm just like, I'm really tired. We can't waste any time on this. Like, let's just keep walking. I didn't even go to the emergency room for this one. My uncle is trained as a nurse. He's not working as a nurse, but he was trained as one. So he took a look at it and he was just like, yeah, that's broken, but if we bring you to the emergency room, the only thing they're going to do is tape that toe to the toe next to it. And it was like my pinky toe too. So he's just like, so really what you should do is just like stretch it out, because like stretching it out will reset it for you, and tape it to the toe next to it and just keep living your life. So that's what I did. And we actually went whitewater rafting after I broke my toe, so that was cool. So those are the stories of all the breaks and sprains that I have suffered so far in my life. It's been fun, and I'm going to go now. Happy VEDA. I hope you get a chance to do something that you love today, and as usual, I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.